Welcome back to the channel, guys. I got my buddy Ian out here driving the Stampede. Here, Ian, bring the Stampede back up here. I want to show them what we did to it today. What I'm going to show you guys real quick while he brings it up here, I'm going to show you guys what I did to the Rustler. We got a pretty big motor fan in there, as you guys can hear. So the Rustler's staying cool. Hello, Stampede.
Expert driving skills.
So as you guys can probably tell, got the new wheels and tires on there, but the shorter shocks on the front, and then as you guys can hear from the Stampede, there is a fan in there as well. Go ahead, Ian, you can drive now. Alright guys, I'm going to throw in a couple clips here and then we'll get on with the outro.
My phone up. Directly over the camera.
Well guys, the battery died, so this is our last resort here.
An old subwoofer's wire from when we put subwoofers into my truck.
My buddy Ian, he headed home a few hours ago. He was driving the Stampede, so I really didn't get a chance to drive it. So I just took it out, drove it on 2S. And I just want to say that I forget how fun this car is. And I also want to get on here and just point out everything we've done. And you guys notice the old body is on here. That is because I'm tired of that body. And it doesn't really work with these tires and the suspension setup. It keeps rubbing. So instead of cutting more off of that body, it's getting retired. This body's getting on so I can get a new Stampede body. It's going to be the same body here. But we broke it. We fixed it multiple times in the last couple of days. So let me peel this body off and I'll show you guys everything that happened. Alright, so now that the body is off, let me get into everything. So first off, the obvious. New tires, different suspension setup. That's the obvious right out of the get-go. There's a little leaf back here. Grab that. That's probably what was ticking earlier. I heard something ticking. So the tires, new suspension setup. That's pretty obvious. I'm actually going to change those springs out for something stiffer. Probably go back to the stock springs. Because as you see, that's a little low. Nice for when I was doing the speed runs out there. This thing actually moves pretty quickly. And I was never really able to get it up to speed. Because with the old tires and suspension setup, it didn't handle very well. So that's the reasoning behind this new setup. So another thing that we did, fan on the ESC. We need to figure out a way to keep that motor cool. It got way too hot. And then we broke the old, or we didn't break, we bent the shock shafts. So I put new ones in there. We broke a steering knuckle down there. That's why it's aluminum now. And then I think that's all we really broke. We had a wheel nut strip out on us, and that was really it. Nothing else really broke. So Stampede held up against Ian's abuse. Yes, he abuses it, but that's the fun part of the hobby. So that's all that's new on this. I briefly touched on the Rustler. Let me pull it out here. I briefly touched on the Rustler in the video. Let me peel this body off and I'll show you underneath it. I can do this one one-handed. The body clips on the Stampede, bit rough to get in and out. So now that that's off, obviously no battery in it because I didn't run it. So what's new is this fan. You can see it is actually quite large, and I like that because now it's going to keep this motor really cool, and I like that, so we're keeping that in there. And then the sacrifice had to be made. Those aluminum steering knuckles on the Stampede came out of the Drag Slash because I have the Traxxas caster blocks, and then I had a knockoff brand of the steering knuckles in there. The fitment was not right. It was too tight and wasn't turning. So now that it's all Traxxas, it turns just fine. So that off-brand steering knuckle is now in the Drag Slash. The Drag Slash now has, or it's pretty much exactly the same as it was. I just got to fix gearing in it. It stripped out gears. Oh well. The Mini Slash, it got its fan back on the body, so that will be staying cool. It also has a heatsink on the motor. And then I will be getting a second battery for that, so I can run 2 batteries in there, because the one battery just gets drained away too quickly with how I drive it. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one.
I'm calling